looking real good. Right, Lucario, make sure you take your 30-minute break today, okay? I know you didn't take one yesterday. Scyther, make sure he takes his break. I don't need him fainting on me. I already have Osher up my ass. Sorry, I didn't see you come in. Boys, can you keep it down? I'm trying to... Can you hear anything? We should probably step away. They're not going to be done until tomorrow. Come with me. So this is my Pokopia, and I know it's a work in progress, okay? I've been busy. I've been trying to write this review for you, you know, hey slugger. Speaking of, I don't really know where to begin, but I think a good place is, oh, water surprise! Sorry, I'll be right back. What'd I tell ya? A water surprise. I love these things. You can get recipes and stuff. You just gotta dive in. Geronimo! Oh, worth it. No, you know, it probably wasn't the best idea to do that in the middle of this review. Have I reviewed the game yet? I really don't remember at this point. Could you give me a second? I am wet. Oh. Well, welcome to my house. Not exactly homely, I guess. I mean, there are so many damn items in this game that I was losing my mind, so the best thing I came up with was a bunch of storage boxes with pictures above them. Fun fact though, whenever I craft in this room, it pulls from all the boxes, so I guess it's less of a home and more of a workshop. But I mean, I have an Arcanine, that's pretty sick. I am dry now, apparently, and there's something I want to show you. Oh, you probably recognize this area. It's the very first place you visit in the game. I just wanted to show you. You know, I got a few huts going over here. I mean, most of my Pokemon are still essentially just living on the street, but that's not, I mean, don't judge me. Isn't that where Pokemon live? Is that problematic to say? I mean, I've built some houses back there. It just feels weird chucking them in there with a couple of beds. Hey, buddy, I'm trying to do a thing here. Charmeleon? Thank you. Sorry about him. Dropped him on his head as a Charmander. Anyway, I need to review this game, I think. I'm getting so distracted. You know what? I have an idea. Come with me. Okay, we're here. Chan, do you mind if the guys watch the TV? It's the only one I found in the entire game so far, and I put it in your house, so I don't really have a choice. Chan? Oh. He's watching Bluey. You can't pull him from Bluey. Anyway, Chan watches this YouTuber BeatEmUps all the time, and he's reviewed the game, so you just watch that, okay? I'm far too busy with my water surprises. All right. I have never been so overwhelmed by a video game, let alone a review of a video game in my entire life. Like, I really don't know how I'm supposed to do this. I don't even know if I know everything that's in the game yet. I mean, despite the fact that I've been playing non-stop for over a week and I've hit the end credits, every single time I load the game back up, I go on some new adventure. I discover something about the game I didn't know before, a place I never even knew existed. And it's been stressing me out thinking about trying to do a video review. I have rewrote, and scrapped the script for this video several times, to the point where I give up on any kind of structured review here. And to be honest, I don't even know if a structured video makes sense here. It might be better as just a jumbled mess, because this game is quite literally an ADHD person's nightmare and simultaneously their wet dream. If you have ADHD or your brain just won't ever stop racing, have you ever tried putting on the brown noise? And I don't mean the brown noise that cleans out your butt. I mean the brown noise that cleans out your head. Listen to it. You put on this sound and it's like everything just stops for a moment. And that is Pokopia. Every time I play this game, it's like I'm entering a Vecna-like trance with my eyes roll into the back of my head and time and space no longer ceases to exist. Hours in the real world for you are mere seconds for me as I just lose myself in the video game, and before I know it, the sun comes up and I realize I should probably sleep, but I don't. I love this game so much. I think it's my favorite thing that I've played in a very long time. I have not been addicted to a game like this since maybe my Dragon Quest Builders phenomenon that was whenever that happened, but this is just so much better than even that. And I know it's also taken the world by storm. It was a smash hit seemingly almost out of nowhere. I don't think the internet expected this. I certainly
certainly didn't expect this. I feel like this duty, this service as the Nintendo guy to give this game its due justice, to make a video worthy of Pokemon Pokopia, but I can't. It would take weeks to script it, months to edit it. I mean, I have a kid, sponsor deadlines. I have other games I'd like to play at some point. I just don't have the time. This isn't really a review of Pokemon Pokopia. It's more of a ramble-jamble mess of thoughts that I'm kind of just hoping to straighten out later, which really isn't too unsimilar to the experience that is playing the game. Oh boy, leading up to launch of this game, didn't the trailers just lie? I mean, the best kind of lie. It's kind of like when Tears of the Kingdom was releasing, and nowhere in the trailers and marketing did they ever talk about the depths. And then when you play the game, you discover there's a whole bonus dark Hyrule underneath the regular normal Hyrule. Pokopia kind of did the same thing, except way bigger. Those initial trailers, it only ever showed you like this much of the game, which is like barely anything. Literally, all the trailers showed was like, you make a little bit of grass, maybe you find a Pokemon. And you remember Squirtle? He's gonna teach you how to spit. This first area, which is fully explorable, fully customizable, fully destroyable and buildable, loads of Pokemon to find, tons of missions and side missions to complete, secrets to explore, items to find, creeks to fill, shiny little water spots to dive into. And notice how I said this first area, because that's not even it. There are multiple other bigger, unique areas to go to that have all different stuff to find. All different items, all different Pokemon, all different little water shiny spots to dive into. There's even a whole gigantic bonus area that's part of your world, but your friends can join and completely run amok on. And this area comes with a load more unique Pokemon for you to find. So I hope that you're good playing this game for the rest of your life.
I guess this is my life now.
Look, I'm sorry. There's so much detail. There is an unbelievable amount of detail in every element of this game. If you've played it, you understand, okay? If you put two Game Boys next to each other on a table, it creates a link cable between them. They didn't have to do that. And all of that definitely contributes to how overwhelming this game is, because even in the starting area, you're already thinking to yourself, I gotta do how much work here? I gotta find all these Pokemon and then give them all homes and all the stuff that they individually like, and I gotta rebuild the Poke Center and fix the road and fill the creeks. I mean, I don't have the time. And that, by the way, was before I even knew that beyond the hill behind the Pokemon Center was a whole nother area, and then I found a whole area to the right with a vegetable patch, and I was thinking to myself at that point, whoa, this game's pretty big, because I'm working with Animal Crossing knowledge, right? I spent 400 hours on this tiny little island with 8 dinky villages, and now I've seen this area, and it's so much bigger than my Animal Crossing island. And I'm coming to terms with that while I walk my happy ass through this gate and find an entire another world that's a giant beachfront property town with a huge ship, dilapidated bridges and dirt and muck all over the place that I'm expected to clean. And my heart just sank. It sank into my little tootsies down here, because I was thinking, what do you mean there's more? But here's the thing. At the same time that I was freaking out, thinking, what do you mean there's more? I was also thinking, what do you mean there's more? And how much more? And it's funny now, too, to think about how I felt in that moment, knowing that I haven't even scratched the surface yet. There's a lot of magic in Pokemon Pokopia, and I think that this is just a small part of it. That feeling of the game never ending. Oh, God. There's an earthquake.
Oh, I think he's waking up.
Suddenly, I woke up. I'd fallen asleep again, and the dreams had come back. I was in Pokopia, watching a review of me in Pokopia, inside Pokopia, it was definitely getting worse. I'd been playing the game far too much. When I closed my eyes, it was all I could see. I needed to step away from this game. I have responsibilities. I have a family to support. I don't think I've showered in weeks. I need to work. Quick, do an ad read. It doesn't matter what for. Just pick something. I don't know. Those lights? No. That candle? Lame. What about this controller? Oh, wait a second. Perfect, that works.
Playing Pokopia, or really any game over the last week or so, has been a dream come true using my new MOBA pad controller. This is the best third-party controller I've seen or used on my Switch 2, and it rivals and in many ways beats Nintendo's own Pro 2 controller. And it does it at a lower price. My biggest gripe with third-party controllers is that they lack features. Typically, something like the NFC reader isn't present even in the most quality builds, but here, that's not a problem. You have NFC, you even have HD rumble, but where this controller exceeds is features like its world's first TMR glide sticks, which feel just like a Switch Pro controller, except you will never have to worry about drift. The buttons are crisp and satisfying thanks to the micro switch and liquid silicone construction. Everything is sharp and responsive. You even get a swappable disc or a traditional D plate if you want to switch that out. There's even custom buttons and 2 macro back buttons. You want motion controls? You got them. You want a replaceable faceplate? You got that too. And the controller works on Switch 1, Switch 2, PC, Android, and iOS. They have a bunch of different colors, and you can even grab it with this optional RGB lit up charging stand. Again, normally I'm hesitant to recommend third-party controllers because of the features that they lack, but this has everything and more. So if you want to grab one, you can find links to this MOBA pad controller in the description down below. It directly supports the channel. And considering how much Pokopia I've been playing lately, it directly supports my gaming habit. And it allows me to keep playing the game, which
Now that I finally did some work, maybe I can actually relax and get some sleep.
Yeah, I'm just glad everybody is okay. And you said my house was fine. All right, that's good.
I still think that we should earthquake-proof every single building from now on in case this happens again. All right, well, let me know what you come up with. All right.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. That was a nightmare. That first house we were working on completely flattened. Scyther was pissed. You probably want to keep watching the review though, so, here.
I think the most important advice I could give you is just to play at your own pace. Everybody's version of playing this game is going to look very different. I saw a guy on Twitter spend the first 4 hours of his game watering every inch of grass in the starting area, and that's his way of playing the game, and that's great. Don't do that though, because it rains in the game. I'm just gonna tell you, it rains. You don't have to do that. For me, I love games like this, and I've played a few, so I knew that by the end of the game, I was going to have a ton of extra abilities and upgrades that would help me do the things I want to do, but also, you find so many items and like DIY recipes and different blocks to craft and items to place. Obviously, I wanted as much as possible in my inventory and my repertoire before I started rebuilding anything, otherwise, I'm just gonna have to do it all again later anyway. So I very much plowed through the story as quick as I could, loved every second of it, but was so excited to be done with it so I could come back and start doing all of this. Okay, as I said, will never be able to talk about everything. Up to this point, I've really just gushed about how much I love the game and why it's so overwhelming. And I don't really feel like I should tell you everything anyway, because if the idea was just to show you this and then give you everything, why am I gonna be the guy that ruins it? In saying that, it is so fun and charming. More than anything, it's the first Pokemon game since the original games, Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, that have actually made me care about finding Pokemon again. Having a Pokédex and a habitat dex adds this whole extra layer of collectathon, but also a whole new fresh way to discover the Pokemon that we love. The old played out method in these mainline Pokemon games of just rooting around in the grass until one of the 5 specific Pokemon for that area show up just has gotten so stale. I'm so used to it. But in Pokemon Hunter, just going up to like a random table and putting down a berry and accidentally creating a habitat, knowing that now a random Pokemon might show up, but having no idea which one it could possibly be other than most likely taking context clues, a little chunky boy, it makes it exciting again. By the way, it was a chunky boy. He was a small little chunky boy, but he definitely loves a snack. On top of that, every Pokemon has their own individual personalities and likes and traits, and that's insane considering how many Pokemon there are when you look at a game like, and I'm sorry to bring it up again, Animal Crossing. Heck, even when Animal Crossing released, it was the same day as Doom, and everyone was freaking out about Isabelle hanging out with the Doom guy. Well, Pokepedia one-upped that as well. It released the same day as Resident Evil 9. So now all we need is fan art of Ditto turning into Hot Leon. And there's no difference between Hot Leon and regular Leon. It's the same thing. It's just Hot Leon. Oh, I didn't win any favors with Animal Crossing fans in 2025, and I really don't want to make it any worse here because I feel like we already mended that bridge. But Kim and I have been saying the same thing every second we play this game. It's just better than Animal Crossing in every conceivable way. Every issue that we and the fans ever had about the series has been improved upon here, or it's just straight up given us things that we've wanted in the franchise this whole time. You're not limited to like 3 bridges that you can use on your island. You can make as many bridges as you want. You just build a bridge. The amount of options and things to do and an actual storyline with quests. In Animal Crossing, you can have like 8 prefab houses that you place around and then go into debt for. You can place like up to 40 prefab houses anywhere in each world. And that's just the prefab ones, because you can also just straight up make a house. You have the prefab ones, which look awesome. They're like these really nice modeled houses. You have like a log one and a city one, and when you go into it, there's a load screen, but inside is a giant house with so much space to work with, depending on the size of the house that you build. But then you can also just use the blocks and materials and house parts to build your own house, and as long as it's like 2 blocks high and completely encompassed, it just creates a habitat, essentially, that you can move like 4 Pokemon into. You can have Pokemon build a prefab house, or you can manually build a block house, or you can have Pokemon build a block house. And in fact, I did that. I had my Pokemon building this big block house, while next to it, I was building my own, brick by brick, one square by 1 square. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did it a lot quicker than those guys. What do you mean it will be done tomorrow? In fact, what I did here was even cooler than that, because I visited a Dream Island, which is a completely separate area that refreshes every single day, and the balloon Pokemon will take you there, and you can get resources and stuff, but you can also steal anything you want from the island. This whole game is about theft. I'd be stealing. I mean, you see this whole house? I stole the whole thing. I literally stole the whole house.
I love stealing. I love taking things.
And I took all the pieces and I rebuilt it here. And you know what the game did to stop me? Nothing. It felt like there was endless possibilities, and the game was just encouraging me for doing it. And in fact, rewarding me. Anything you want to do in this game, there's a rewarding feedback loop. And for stealing all this stuff, it created a habitat that once I moved my Pokemon into, it increased the environment level, which unlocked a ton of new challenges and rewards and things I could buy, which just kept me playing the game for another 2 hours. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, how much better this game is than Animal Crossing. You know, one of my personal biggest complaints in Animal Crossing is every time I bring up my like inventory, which by the way, you can only fit like 10 things and a nickel in there. Pack Ratapia gives you like 4 pages of a backpack and a fanny pack. My guy's literally walking around like a Dark Souls character, fat rolling. But in the inventory in Animal Crossing, it's just the icon of a leaf for every like item. So I never know what I have unless I read what the title, but then it's like, what does that look like again? What color was it? And then I gotta put it down and look at it. Here, every single item has a detailed picture in the inventory, as well as info on it and what type of item it is. This is another indication of just the level of detail and quality in every aspect of this game. And we've already talked about the simple fact that the comparison sizes between the worlds in the two games is like comparing a Joltik to a Whale Lord. I mean, there's just no comparison. I don't know how the next Animal Crossing game follows this up. You know, I don't know how they beat this. I don't think it's possible. Kim and I, a lot of Animal Crossing fans, I mean, we've been waiting for news of the next game in the series to, you know, scratch that itch. But this game, Pokopene, I mean, it scratches the itch and then some. It scratched the itch so good it started to bleed, and then now I'm picking at the scab. Ugh, shake that off. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Tomodachi Life, right? Who cares? The two games we were waiting for from Nintendo was this and that, and I was excited for both, but now I'm looking at Tomodachi and I'm like, I just don't want to start another cozy life sim game with a bunch of characters and a town to build. I haven't even got through the wastelands yet. Nintendo, can you just delay Tomodachi to like 2027? I just need time. I think we're about 20 minutes into the video now, and I told you this is such a scatterbrain mess, but I don't think I actually talked about like the base what this game is. Have I? Well, the story is that the Pokemon and the humans have just gone. They just like disappeared and everything's run down and dilapidated. But then here you come, a Ditto, who turns into a human for some reason. And then because it's a human, it can kind of interact with all the human technology, and the human technology recognizes it as a human, which raises a bunch of other questions for me that I don't know if I really want to get into. I didn't know a Ditto could become a human, right? So, like, what's the limits on that? Can it become, like, any human? Nah. You're tasked with bringing the humans and the Pokemon back. So as you rebuild these habitats, and the habitats could be anything. Some of them get really out there. I mean, one is like a ship's wheel and a bunch of cannons, and I don't even know where you find cannons. For an example of a habitat in real life, think about like a stinky couch in front of a TV with a bunch of food crumbs around and Red Bull energy and discarded coffee cups, and then I might appear because that's where I've been living the last week playing this game. But the more Pokemon you find, the more they help you. They help you explore new areas. They teach you abilities. They help you refine resources. They'll even sell and trade you things if you give them a cash register. And it really does make you feel like there's no way that you could do all of this without everybody's help. Every single Pokemon that you find along the way. Have you seen Scrubs? They just brought it back, season 10. It's actually pretty good. But you know the theme song of like, I can't do it all on my own, no. It's kind of like that. It's like, I can't do this all on my own. I'm just a Ditto. I'm no Superman. And there's just always something to do. The game has a day and night cycle, the same way that Animal Crossing does. And you know how in Animal Crossing, you kind of hit this wall for the day where everything just kind of is gonna happen the next day, which is why people time skip. You never have to do that here. While it does have some elements, like when you build the Poke Center or you have some other things going, it'll say this will be done tomorrow. There is still so much to do. The game never stops. That will just be done tomorrow. And if anything, it's kind of cool that while you're playing, while you're punching the dirt to try and find more bones for your collection, it'll make less serial killer sense if you play the game. It's nice to know while you're doing all of that, there are things happening in the background that feel like progression. I mean, I've had like 2 or 3 builds going in all the different towns on any given day. And then the excitement of waking up the next day and playing the next day that all of your buildings are finished and you get to go around and get to check on your Pokemon and see how they did, give them fist bumps and high fives and be like, yeah, we really did it. Well, I was sleeping, but you did good. You'll never find yourself wondering what to do next. And if you ever do have a moment where you're like just overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, just talk to a Pokemon and see what he wants from you. See what he's looking for. Even that simple act will increase the environment level and unlock stuff on your PC for you to interact with, new things for you to craft and download or challenges. Everything in this game has a feedback loop. There's a reason to do everything because it will help you out in some other way. Oh, what else? I don't know. There's a 3D printer. That's pretty cool. I didn't expect that. You ever been playing one of these games and you like want something, but you can't like find it? You can't find another one, or you saw it on a friend's island? Just take a picture of it and then come here and 3D print one. You can 3D print anything in the game. You can make a copy of anything. This game really just said it. Like, it just, like, it was like, what else can we give? And I'm now realizing, as I'm making this video, that this is probably the first Pokemon game in the history of me playing Pokemon games where I cared about the story. And I really did. I was invested. Like, every piece of dialogue, every plot point, even all the little books and notes around the world I would read, try to get a bit more lore about what happened to these humans and Pokemon and where did they all go. But each of the Pokemon were so larger than life and full of character, especially the ones along the main quest. I was just so invested. Whether it's how this Chef Greeton got stuck in such a tiny barrel, or why this little Pikachu's so pale. Kim and I are formally requesting for a stuffy version of this Pikachu. He's got no electricity, he's so cute. Also, here's something I realized and I was thinking about the whole time I was playing, but this is like the first ever Pokemon game where there's no battling. Right? There's no fighting, because like, why would they fight? Without the humans, all the Pokemon are just like getting along. You know, they're out and about, they're playing, they're basking in the sunlight, they're building each other cute little houses and places to live with all of their favorite stuff and TVs. And they just, what would happen if the humans came back? Right? Have we thought about that? Because I'm pretty sure the humans would just start throwing bowls at these Pokemon's faces and trapping them in these tiny little devices, leaving them on their hips or in a PC for months on end, only getting them out when they want them to fight one of their friends until one of them passes out. And don't tell me that they like it. This has to be better. Who's the professor working for here? Because it's not the Pokemon. I think he's an inside man. Pokopia is beyond good. It's so good. It sold 2.2 million copies in just the first few days. It sold so beyond expectations that the physical release sold out. An already very wealthy company increased its shares by 10%. And the crazy part is, that makes sense. Every time I load up Twitter or Instagram or any social media, all I'm seeing is Pokopedium content everywhere. I mean, I try not to look at it because it all makes me feel very bad about myself. What do you mean somebody built this entire beachfront property? What are you smoking? When I made the Dusty Switch video, when I was talking about how disappointed I was in Nintendo's first-party offerings, how every release wasn't really hitting it home, and I wasn't getting that Nintendo polish feel from any of the games post Donkey Kong, this is the kind of stuff I was hoping for. And you can see it in the way it's blowing up everywhere online, how everybody is enjoying it. This is the Nintendo effect. This is what Pokemon should be like. The amount of times I've seen online the sentiment that people are going out and buying a Switch 2 to play Pokemon, it's quite literally a system seller. So for the few comments I might get of people saying, oh, Wood was just complaining a couple weeks ago and now Pokopia comes out and all of a sudden everything's hunky-dory, I didn't expect this. I don't think anybody expected Pokopedia to be the game, but it is. This is the kind of experience I've been wanting to dive into on my Switch 2. If I had to rate the top 3 exclusives on Switch 2 right now for like buyability and fun, I would go number 3, Mario Kart World, number 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and number 1, Metroid Prime. Number 1, Pokemon Pokopia. I love Donkey Kong Bonanza, but not like this. I mean, in Bonanza, I could only break the stuff. In Pokopedia, I could at least put it back together again. Well, I guess that's the video, you know? Well, we watched the whole thing, so we should probably like and subscribe. There we go. All right, well, my stamp money just came in, and I was thinking of buying a couple of those little pinwheels, getting the boys together and watching them spin in the wind. So I'm gonna go do that. Take care. You got it. You can do it. Yeah, good job. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad we used the stamp money for this. What else can I do?